Celtic are in to the Scottish Cup final. They defeated Aberdeen on penalties in a free game at Hampden that would be rated as one of the best semi-finals that I have ever seen in Scottish football. But it's not about rating the match. It is time now to rate the players. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. But before we rate any players, I'm going to rate Don Robertson, and he's getting a big 0 for being an absolute fucking cheating fud. So that's my thoughts on Don Robertson. I was about to call him John Robertson. Don Robertson wishes he was John Robertson. What a hero that guy was. Anyway, disgraceful performance here. I still can't believe that Aberdeen never got a penalty, but I'm not going to cry and bitch about it. I already cried for 20 minutes in the other video, so don't need to repeat it here. But yeah, Don Robertson for me getting a 0.
Yep, it was a good game, great game. It was refreshing actually watching a game of football and seeing two teams attacking. I mean, I've been so used to watching Rangers the past couple of games where it's been like the horseshoe effect, sideways, slow. I mean, Aberdeen, in spells were pretty poor. I'm not going to deny that, but here, when they could attack well, and it was a good game.
After this game, I was genuinely left thinking, what would have happened to Aberdeen's season if they just gave Peter Levin the job till the end and never brought in Warnock? Because you remember when they sacked Barry Robson, the first game after was a Celtic match, and they played really well in that game.
That's two draws against Celtic.
Probably should have beat Celtic.
Yep.
Ended up getting a draw. I wonder how Aberdeen's season would have panned out with Peter Levin in charge.
We'll never know, right?
Well, could it have went worse?
Probably not, but let's go to Kyle Roos, shall we? Let's get into it. Let's get into the meat.
Alright, Kyle Roos. I don't think he pulled off that many great saves. I don't really recall him keeping Aberdeen in the game. No. I think he definitely should have done better, I believe, for the second goal. And I don't know, he did come out well though. I think corners and stuff like that, I think he commanded his area better. I think he did better than Joe Hart from that standpoint. Like when Aberdeen were putting crosses into the box, they just felt like they were more dangerous to me. I think Roos dealt with everything pretty well, like coming for crosses and just like catching the ball, and I thought he'd done that pretty well, but definitely should have did better for the second goal. But again, I guess he was missighted maybe. Bit of a misjudgment. He probably thought McKenzie was going to clear the ball, so I'd probably give Kyler. I mean, his penalties were poor, I will say that. I mean, he never saved a single penalty. Obviously,
and he
Joe
pretty
Hart
much cost Duncan, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was an okay performance for Roos. I'll give him a 5.
I'll give him a 5 as well. Let's move on.
Joe Hart. So I thought he flapped it a lot. Don't think he was that great. Took a penalty, missed it. Just not that impressive. Right? Although he did make a couple of penalty saves. I think probably in the game, I would say he was probably worse than Roos, but he performed better in the shootout. There was definitely
won Celtic the shootout.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of the Aberdeen there was a few penalties though that I think he could have saved.
No, there was, but I think what's crucial about Joe is that this could very easily have been a 0.
Aye, well, it could have been depending on how the shootout went.
But I'll give
him a 6.
Yeah, I'll give him a 6.
Alrighty. Up next we have Nicky Devlin.
I'm going to give Devlin a 5 out of 10. I thought he was good. He fought through a lot. He was injured. I'll give him a solid 5.
I'll give him a 6. I thought he was decent. Alistair Johnston.
I think he's probably one of my most hated Celtic players.
He is, but I actually thought he had one of his better games today.
But look at him rolling about on the ground like a fud to try and get that penalty took away.
He is a wanker, like, I'm not going to lie.
I'll give him a 7 though.
I think a 7's pretty fair. I'm actually going to give him a 7 as well. Garterman, I'm actually going to give a 7. Thought he was solid for Aberdeen. Best defender for me Aberdeen had on the park, and probably didn't deserve to be on the losing side.
No, I'll give him a 7 as well. Oh, yeah, that's a good Ian.
We're going to go into Liam Scales. I don't think he was great. I think he was lucky not to give away a penalty.
I'll give him a 5.
That's also what I'm going to give Scales. Boom, there you go. McDonald.
Right, I'm going to give this guy a 4.
I mean, he did screw Aberdeen with the first goal, no doubt about it.
You can say what you want. Oh, he scored to make it 3 each, right? Yeah.
It was a very good finish, though, right in the corner.
Yes.
But I mean, Aberdeen had the momentum and he just gifted Celtic. We don't know how the game would have played out. Am I saying that Aberdeen would have held on and won 1-0? Absolutely not, because there was still like 70 minutes to go at that point. But there is no denying that at 1-0, the next goal was absolutely crucial, and this guy basically handed it to Celtic. And we don't know how the game would have played out if Aberdeen got the next goal, or even if the game just went into the break at 1-0. But we'll never know, because McDonald essentially just gifted it to Kyogo, and for me, that's going to take away from his... I think other than that, though, he actually played pretty well, and he did get the goal, but very disappointing. I'm going to give him a 5.
I'm giving a 4. I think you can't be making those mistakes as captain. I'm sorry.
I mean, had he not made that, then he's right up there with Garterman for me, but unfortunately...
He did.
Carter Vickers, I don't think he was great. I think he could have did better for the first goal.
He gave away a penalty.
He gave away a penalty, even though Don Robertson is in the Celtic pocket these days. So I think it was poor for Carter Vickers. Just wasn't great. I mean, he did deal with Miovski at times in the second half, but I felt like Aberdeen did create a lot of chances too. And I genuinely just feel like he's overrated. I'm going to give him a 5.
I'm going to give him a 5 as well. I think that's fair enough. Right, Mackenzie, up next.
Oh God, it wasn't great for the second goal. I think other than that, like, I'll give him a 5.
I'll give him a 5 as well.
Alright performance. Greg Taylor, I thought he was...
Non-existent.
You didn't even know the guy was playing.
I'll give him a 5.
And Duke had a lot of success, I think, against him. I think Duke was, in the first half, Duke was getting forward. I mean, didn't really have any end ball, but I think Duke at least looked lively. He looked dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think that is partly because he was up against Greg Taylor.
I'll give him a 5.
5 seems a bit... I'm going to give him a 4. So 4.5. I think Greg Taylor... It's weird. Greg Taylor, at times he can be good, but when he's bad, you're almost thinking he needs replaced.
Right, up next, Barron. I'm going to give Barron an 8. I thought he was by far Aberdeen's best player. This guy had cramp for about like the 70th minute, and he was making all these last-ditch tackles. Rangers are linked with this guy. I would like him.
Connor Barron. What age is Connor Barron?
20.
21. Yeah. Would he be one of the better Aberdeen players to go to Rangers?
I mean, he'd be up there.
Would he be better than Scott Wright?
Aye. No, I think he was my man of the match.
I'm going to give him a 7, so a 7.5. I thought Barron was really good. To be fair, though, I thought a lot of Aberdeen's midfield was pretty good. Hatate, thoughts on Hatate?
He's been brilliant in recent weeks. I think he went missing today. I'm going to give him a 5. I don't know. He was non-existent.
I'm going to give Hatate a 6. I thought he was no bad. Just a decent performance, but nothing more than that.
Right,
Povara, I actually thought was just as good as Barron's. I'm going to give him a 7.
I'll give him a 7. I think he was just a wee bit worse.
Povara impressed me today.
A wee bit not as good.
Callum McGregor.
I'll give him a 5.
I mean, I thought he was... Yeah, just Callum... And I know maybe he's not fully fit, but I've always thought the guy wasn't that great anyway, to be honest. But I don't know how he got in the PFA Team of the Year.
I mean, you could argue he gets subbed off, and that's when Aberdeen got all their joy, but I think that's because Aberdeen started firing bodies forward, so I'll give him a 5.
I'm going to give him a 5 as well. Duke... I thought he was pretty good first half, even second half. Just didn't really have the final product, but he did create chances. I'm going to give Duke a 6. O'Reilly, a great finish for the third goal. I just think the way he fit, it was so calm, the way he just put it in the top bins with ease, like never in doubt. I don't think overall it was as great as game, but I mean, he stepped up in a big moment and he scored. I'm going to give O'Reilly a 7.
I'm going to give him a 7 as well.
Clarkston.
Great assist, but I thought he had a pretty mediocre.
Clarkston.
I'll give him a 5.
I'll give him a 6. I mean, he did get the assist. Nicholas Kuhn.
He got a goal, right? But
what else did he get?
Michael Stewart let us know then. Celtic's got no width. I think Hugh Keevins is right. I think this guy ain't Celtic quality. I would be fucking shocked if they didn't replace this guy in the summer.
Yeah, but you know what? Could you not say that about Yang? As well.
Well, let me get the Yang and I'll say about him.
I think Celtic have went, I don't know, like last season with Maida, Kyogo, that front three felt like it was doing shit.
I'm going to give him a 5. I'm going to give him you got a goal, but that's it. McGrath.
Jimmy McGrath. Thought he was alright. I'll give him a 6.
I'll give him a 6 as well.
McGrath was alright. Yang.
I'm going to give Yang a 3. I thought when I say non-existent, I mean I actually can't recall what he did.
No, he done nothing. I'm going to give Yang a 4, so a 3.5. Bojan Miovski got a goal. I don't think it was his greatest game though. I mean, he got himself into a couple of good positions, and I mean, he did play Hoylett through, and he had an opportunity where Sokler could have played him through, and
he could have walked away with a hat trick.
Yeah, on an odd. I'll give him a 6.
I'll give him a 6 as well.
And Kyogo Furuhashi stepped in, took the ball off McDonald, helped get the goal, got taken off though. I'll give Furuhashi
I'll give him a 5. I thought it was pretty poor. I mean, for a guy that's so good at Hampden, like is Austin.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I'll give him a 6, 5.5. Right, Milne. We're getting into the substitutes now. 5, fair enough. Awata, I thought came on, did alright to be fair, scored a good penalty. I'll give Awata a 6.
I'll give him a 6.
Sokler, I mean,
6.
got a goal, but definitely should have played through Miovski, and that would have been another goal.
I'll give him a 5 actually, because that was unforgivable. That's the 3-2, by the way.
Yeah, that's to get Aberdeen in front. You know, I'm going to give him a 6, 5.5. Right, moving on, we've got James Forrest. I mean, came on, looked lively, scored a goal. Brendan Rodgers has said that Forrest is Celtic's best winger at the club, and when he said that, people came out and criticised him. When you look at the performances of Kuhn and Yang and Palma, I mean, is it really beyond the imaginable that Forrest might be better than those guys? I don't think so. I thought he was a game changer today for Celtic. I'll give Forrest an 8.
I'll give him an 8?
Uh-huh.
Fuck, I'll give him a 6. I don't know
6? I thought Forrest was the difference.
He came on and scored a shite goal and hobbled off 10 minutes later.
I thought Forrest was alright today, so...
Alright, fair enough.
For the time that he did play on the pitch. Junior Hoylett, right, was not impressed with the guy at the beginning. Has to score. Miovski plays him through. But I've got to say, other than that, I actually thought Hoylett was good today. But, he didn't score the gilt-edged chance that he should have. He was fouled for a penalty. Definitely should have had a penalty. Didn't get it. I'll give him a 6. But if he scored, then I could have maybe given him an 8. Thought he was good.
Got 2 assists, so I'm going to give him a 6.
Now, you know what? Then I'm actually going to give him a 7. I've got 2 assists actually.
Fair enough, right?
Ida.
I'm actually going to give Ida. I'm going to give him a 2. No, because he missed an open net and then he was offside. He could have put the game to bed. And I think this guy, I think it just highlights though, like the gulf and class between the sides. Not today, but overall. Like this guy scored a lot of goals for Celtic, but like every single one of them he seems to score is a fucking tapping.
Well, he scores more than O, doesn't he? So
no, but he could have put this to bed.
So you're giving him a 2?
Yes.
I was going to give him a 6, so that's a 4 overall.
Do you remember the chances he missed?
I know, but I thought, you have to get in those possessions anyway. I think Ida's...
Dessers gets into them, like, don't worry, I give him low ratings, so...
I think Ida's a good backup striker. Phillips.
2.
Yeah, he missed the penalty. Never
shite, he missed the penalty.
I think I'll give him a 4. I mean, 3 actually. Give him a 3. Not happy with Phillips' performance. Palma came on.
He cost the goal.
Celtic had a chance to counter, and he just didn't do it. Played it straight back to Aberdeen, then Aberdeen got the goal. I think really overrated. I think when he first came in, remember he was injured, then he played a few games. I think he was the guy, scored the winner against Motherwell, and then at that point people thought, oh, we've got a great player. This guy's just as good as Jota, but
he was good initially.
I think we've seen since then that he's just another overrated player. I still think the best winger at Celtic is Maida, and he's not even a great footballer. You take Maida's pace away from him, and
he's pish.
Yeah, so I do think Celtic need to improve in the wide positions. I'll give Palma a 3 here.
I'll agree with that. I'll give him a 3.
Boom, right, Morris. I thought Morris was no bad. Came on, tried to get up front, tried to support Sokler.
I'll give him a 5.
Did okay. I think a 5's fair. He did no bad. Bernardo, I think he's going to cost like $6.5 million to bring him in. Not worth it for me.
I think he's alright.
I think he's alright, but if you're Celtic, you can't spend that kind of money on an alright player.
See, I think he's I think he's a good option to have if your 3 midfielders ahead of him are injured, or like one of them's injured and he's coming in.
No, I'm not saying he's a bad option. He's a good squad player, but he's not $6.5 million.
Aye, I agree with that.
And that seems to be what the cost would be. So, anyway, today, what's your thoughts on his performance? Just really came on, didn't he, at the end to try and see the game out?
I'll give him a 5.
He didn't manage it. I'm going to give him a 4. Duncan. Feel bad for the guy. He missed that penalty, but we knew he was going to miss it. See the delay? The delay fucked him.
But he had, you know what, right? It wasn't actually. I think if he hit the post of the bar, it's almost acceptable. I think this penalty wasn't too bad. I think the other penalty was, so I'll give him a 4.
Here, you want to talk about sportsmanship and shit? Like, see Ruse. Why didn't he just drag himself off and let Duncan take this penalty and then sit out for the next guy? Which would have been, I believe, Joe Hart.
I know.
I think he just fucked his own teammate up, but whatever. I'll give Duncan I'll give him a 4.
Yep, I'll give him a 4 as well.
And Naraki came on, steadied the ship. I don't rate Naraki.
He came on with about 10 seconds to go, and he conceded a goal. So, I mean, again,
that's not good.
I'll give him a 4.
I'll give him a 3, so
I'm
it's a 3.5. Right, Levine, Peter Levin.
I think he pretty much nailed the game plan. It's not his fault. His team
didn't get penalties and a couple of individual errors. Yeah, I'll give Levin an 8. I think it was fair.
He didn't seem that bothered. Like, Aberdeen were beaten. He's like, oh, it was a crazy game. It's like, hold on, mate. You get shafted in pretty much every decision. You've lost in a nail-biting penalty shootout, and he doesn't seem to give a fuck.
Yeah, like I said, decisions went against him. Individual errors from players went against him. He can't help that, but he did set up the team well. I think he pretty much got the individuals right, the players that he played. It's not his fault that Aberdeen never got a penalty, and it's not his fault that, you know, a couple of players made some crucial mistakes, whether it be defensively or whether it be not making the right decision going forward when they basically had goals on a silver platter. So
you could argue though 2 of his subs missed the penalties.
True, but I'm going to give him an 8.
I'm going to give him an 8 as well.
Feels a wee bit high for a losing manager, but an 8 for me. And then Rodgers, I think he got a get out of jail card today. How much impact did he have on Joe Hart taking that 5th penalty?
Again, like we said earlier,
not entirely sure.
This could be a 0 if that backfires. To me, that's baffling.
I look at the first Celtic.
Joe Hart's not good with his feet. It's not like Joe Hart is brilliant like an Ederson because he took a penalty against Real Madrid.
First Celtic goal handed to them by Aberdeen. Second Celtic goal handed to them by Aberdeen. I think Rodgers got away with it on the day, but I mean he did win, so therefore I'll give him a 6.
I'll give him a 6 as well.
Boom, guys, there's your ratings, and just to clarify it, I'm giving Don Robertson a fucking 0 because he was a cheat today. He got it wrong, and we'll see if there's any controversy after this, and we'll see if there's like a meltdown for Aberdeen fans because
but Aberdeen didn't seem to care about that. Like Peter Levin didn't even mention it. And before people, I know it kind of is irrelevant because Aberdeen were up and scored, but you could use the logic, well, you know, maybe Aberdeen get that chance anyway, but it's if buts, maybes. Just make the correct decision, man.
Yeah, it was a
penalty.
penalty.
Also, I think the TV direction sucked because we didn't actually find out until why disallowed it until it had already been disallowed. We're sitting there saying, what's he giving it for?
Don't even think the referee knew what he disallowed it for, to be honest. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Let us know your ratings down below. And I think the best player on the pitch today probably was in an Aberdeen shirt. And he didn't win. So, alright, till next time. Peace.